Hi all. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to translate shapes in the coordinate plane. So we're going to use a coordinate plane because it'll be a little bit easier to see, in this case for translations, our distance and direction that we're going to move our shape. So the first thing we're going to do is label the vertices of our shape. So you can label it in any way you want. I'm just going to call that A. I'm going to call this B. I'm going to call this C, D, and E. So now that I have labeled my vertices, I can translate them. So I'm going to translate according to this arrow here, this distance and direction. So for me, it's easiest to count that I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces and up 1, 2. So over 4, up 2 is going to be my distance and direction for each of the points on my shape, each of the vertices on my shape. So now I'm going to translate. Let's start with, you can start with any point. It's really up to you, as long as you do them all, but I'm just going to do them in an organized way here for you. And so I'm going to start with A, and I'm going to move it over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. So my A point, and remember, when we translate, we're going to have a prime now. I'm going to do the same thing with all of these points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2 will be E prime. Make that look more like an E. Same thing with D. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. D will be here. Sorry, it cut off the graph a little bit, but you get the idea. And the same thing with C. You can also see the relative distance here between D and C. So you know that C is going to be right here. C prime, sorry. C prime. B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. D is going to go, D prime is going to go right there. I'm sorry, B prime. Oh, Dr. Kelly. Okay, so now I have all of my new vertices after my translation, and now I'm going to connect the dots. So I'm going to draw some lines between A and B, A prime and E prime and D prime, D prime and C prime, C prime and B prime. Again, you can do this in any order you choose, but as you can see, I have the same shape, just moved over a little bit. And that's all we're looking at happening with our translation. Now, one last thing I want to look at is I want to look at the differences between the points and their ordered pairs. So let's just take a look at some of these points. So for A, oops, let me make it a capital A. My ordered pair here would be 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5. For A prime, what is my ordered pair? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6, 7. Let's see if we can find a pattern. So let's look at a couple more of these. So here is B at 1, comma 1, and B prime is at B prime 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 3. C is, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to do, and then let's see if we can find a pattern. So C is at 4, 1. And let's see if we can find a pattern with C prime. C prime is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. So 8, comma 3. So take a minute and look at these and see if you can see a difference between A and A prime. How did that change? B and B prime, C and C prime. Is there a pattern? So you may want to pause the video for a second and see if you can see a pattern. So I hope you notice this pattern, but the pattern that I see is if we start with any number, and for A and any number for B, if you want, you can say X and Y, because that's really how we're moving. We're moving X and we're moving Y on our coordinate plane. The pattern for the translation, remember we moved 4 spaces on the X and 2 on the Y. So it would really be X plus 4 and Y plus 2. Let's see if that fits our pattern. So here we have 2, X plus 4, 2 plus 4 would be 6. Yep, it fits our pattern. Here for our Y, we have 5. We want to do Y plus 2. Y plus 2 is 7. It fits our pattern. So basically, what we're saying here is depending on the arrow and our translation, it's going to be X or Y plus the number of X on our translation and the number of Y on our translation. So again, this pattern is going to hold true for any translation that you do in the coordinate plane.